Hello, everyone. This is Camila Troll, and this is my book for my story for task one of the course Intercultural Competence in ELT. The name I wanted to give to my book is, for my story, is Learning to Teach English Through Inclusion. Okay, so as a little introduction, as an English teacher, I've been an English teacher for many years now. I have learned that language learning is not only about grammar or vocabulary, but it's also about people and identities and experiences. So the three concepts that we were talking about is diversity, equity, and inclusion have become essential concepts in my teaching practice, of course. The three important bullet points that I wanted to highlight are that classrooms are naturally diverse, and bringing together students with different backgrounds, abilities, and ways of learning is what you will find every day. Uh, Equity in ELT means providing differentiated support so all learners can access the same meaningful learning opportunities. And inclusion focuses on creating a safe and respectful environment where all the students can feel valued and encouraged to participate. On the other hand, the reflective teaching practices can help teachers identify barriers and promote more inclusive learning spaces and experiences. Okay, so a background or my background. Um, I have basically worked for more than 20 years, and in my teaching experience, I have worked with students who come from different social, cultural, and academic backgrounds, also from different ages. So I have been able to see how some students learn quickly through speaking, while others need more time, more visual support, or a more quiet space to feel confident. Through all my experience, I have taught English and also English and literature, and I have worked with students of different ages, different grades, different language proficiency levels, and of course, different learning styles. So teaching both language and literature has shown me that students learn and engage in a different way depending on their background. Obviously, on the cognitive development and their prior exposure to English. That is very important. So while some students respond well to speaking activities and oral interaction, others like to work more in collaborative activities. Others like reading more, writing. Others learn through visual support or more structured guidance from the teacher. Okay, working with this diversity has helped me understand that single teaching approach does not meet all learners. So as a teacher, if you want to be a good teacher, you need to use different methods. Mm, what else? Oh, of course, materials are important. Different types of assessment are also important, so you can create a more inclusive and equitable learning environment. So the three words we were talking about, as I said at the beginning, diversity refers to the presence of different or differences among learners, including language level, culture, socioeconomic background, learning styles, abilities, identities, and well, the life experiences are also important in their background. In English language teaching, diversity must mean recognizing that students don't learn or express themselves the same way, and this makes a rich classroom environment. The word equity for me means providing learners with specifically what they need so they can succeed in learning of the language. ELT also involves adapting instructions, adapting assessment, and support to the different learning styles and different students. And the word inclusion is the practice of creating learning environments where all the students feel valued and respected, and they can actively participate in the activities that you propose in the classroom, regardless of their differences. So, an English language classroom that is inclusive, it means that you have to design activities that encourage participation and collaboration uh, from all the learners. if possible. Okay, let's say that in my personal experiences, I don't remember like one single student, but I remember that this is very like you can find this easily in a classroom, and these are students who rarely participate in class discussions because they are very shy. They don't like to speak. So at the beginning, I used to think that it was maybe lack of interest from the student or the students, but then later I realized that students can feel insecure about pronunciation or about being judged, especially if they are teenagers. So this has made me reflect on how the classroom dynamics can intentionally exclude learners, and I had to find different ways of giving the opportunity to those students who are shy to participate in class. Okay, so the challenges. Well, the thing is that it's difficult in a classroom because you find mixed language proficiency in the same classroom, different learning styles, students' anxiety, as I mentioned, um, and also that you have to balance the curriculum with what the students really need. Okay, the learning and change. So through my teaching experience, I have become more aware of the diversity present in every classroom. I learned that adapting instructions is very, very important and that you have to be somehow flexible and you have to be flexible on the way the students participate. Also, using differentiated assessment strategies can help students feel more confident and more supported. Um, but of course, it's not an easy topic. Finally, okay, my final thoughts or the conclusion. I can say that the experience has taught me that inclusion in ELT classrooms is an ongoing process. It will never end. And when you intentionally address diversity and apply equity in your English classroom, it becomes a very safe space where all students can learn, grow, and feel valued. Mm, Also, that inclusive English teaching is not about lowering your expectations, but about trying to remove those barriers so every learner, no matter their difficulties, they can have the opportunity to succeed in their learning. So, final thoughts inclusion is essential for meaningful language learning, diversity strengthens English classrooms, equity helps remove learning barriers, and teachers play a key role in creating safe spaces. I think that's one of the most important. Also, that inclusive practices require ongoing reflection. And if you want to be a good teacher, you have to be constantly assessing yourself in order to improve or to change. Thank you.